This video is a 2-for-1 special on trainings in general and the specific training of the URA finals. Since it's the most basic training mode, it's also the easiest to go over. Firstly, you might be wondering what kind of horse girl the one you want to train actually does, and there are a few factors to look at. The top section here determines if your horse girl is better at grass or dirt courses. The second row determines the style of race they like to run, being short, mile, medium, or long distances. The third and final row is their running style, which range from escape, being staying at the back and trying to win later, advance, which is the same as escape but staying more towards the back end of the middle, holder, which stays near the front of the middle, and push in, where you lead the main pack for the majority of the run. A lot of these determine what support cards you bring and what skills you want to try and shoot for. When you embark upon a training mode, you first have to set up your inheritance. This determines a few things like stat boosts and improving your horse girl's specific stats. These stat boosts will be given during the story. Inheritance itself is pretty complicated, but if you're just starting, you can't go wrong clicking the green button of laziness, which fills it out for you. You can also choose to select a friend's horse girl. After that, we start dealing with support cards. Generally speaking, you want to bring 2 speed cards and 1 intelligence card, and then an amalgamation of whatever else your specific race style is. I have defaults for short and mile races, mid and long races, and dirt races. If I were smart, I would go through every support card I have and determine the best cards to bring for runs by Google translating every skill they have, but I don't have the time or patience and I hate the word meta, so these are fine. You can also select a friend's card to bring with you. Now we can finally begin the training mode. When it starts, you generally want to worry about getting your important skills up, mostly being speed and whatever else you want to train specifically, such as stamina for long distance runners or power for dirt runners. Speed determines how fast you go, shockingly. You want to boost this as high as you can most of the time. Stamina determines how long your horse girl can keep in the race for. The faster and longer you run, the more this depletes, and if it depletes, you start falling back hard. Power determines your acceleration and power when running up hills. It's also key for dirt racers, I think. Guts is tricky, but I'm pretty sure it determines your speed boost during the final spurt and also helps with stamina. Intelligence affects the rate at which your skills activate. This is the one I neglect most of all, just like in my real life. On this menu, you'll also see when you move around, you'll see your support card horse girls showing up in the top right corner. If you can, try to hang out with them when there are like 2 to 4 to a spot to increase that bar below them. Once that bar reaches an orange level, it'll allow you to gain extra stats from training as well as other bonuses throughout training modes such as skills. Exclamation point over skills usually mean you can get a skill hint, which decreases the skill cost later. When they're glowing like a rainbow, then you're getting a big stat boost. Another way to get stat boosts is to do the specific trainings enough times to level them up, so if you do speed training enough, it will level up, allowing you to get more stat points. Back to the main screen, you can see we have a few options, being rest, which will increase our stamina for doing these trainings. You'll notice when you do a training, this bar depletes, so this option refills it. We also have the skill catalog of skills you've earned. I generally save these until I either need them because I don't think I'm gonna win a race, or at the end. We then have the health room button, in which you fail a training or get a bad condition, you can go here to heal. Then we have the date menu, in which you can go on a date with your horse girl to improve motivation and heal a bit of stamina. Motivation is determined by this arrow up here, and the higher it points, the better stats you will have in races. Finally, we have the race menu, in which you can participate in races and try to get fans, some of which are required goals. After doing a bit of training, you'll do your first race and usually win without a problem. You can take a look at this green button to see your proficiency with your stats. If these ever look like triangles or X's or single circles, you may want to consider training those a bit harder in the next go around. At this point, you want to keep an eye on your horse girl's goals. It can be anything from having a set number of fans, placing higher than a certain point in a race, or just participating in a race. If you fail any of these, training mode ends, but you do get fancy alarm clocks just in case you do fail a race for another shot. Specific to the URA finals scenario, sometimes Happy Meat will challenge you to a contest of stats. If you lose, you still get some stats, but if you win, you get much better stats. You can tell by the symbols if you're probably going to win or not. At the end of all of your goals, you do the URA finals. If you fail here, it's no big deal, but generally you want to win for some sweet stat bonuses. Once training mode is done, you can throw your horse girl into your team for team races for your dailies. Them's the basics. Train stats, win races, get money. Bye.